sky. Barren branches sway time and time. Mother Earth opens wide with growing shoots, excited to come out and play. Breezes sublime, look at us, we are so blind at what's blessed, 'cause we are one with everything. Yeah. Shades of gray play peekaboo. Skies of a March and April threatening too. Undo months of bitterness as rain trickles down its skin. Oh, breezes sublime, look at us, 'cause we are so blind at what's blessed. We are one with everything. Yeah. As daffodils sway to and fro, cherry blossoms coalescing into vast pink umbrellas unfold their love, flapping in winter's last hours. 'Cause we are so blind and so blessed. Look at us, we are blessed. We are one with everything. Yeah, alright. Ooh, breezes
Wow. Thank you very, very much, Joelyn. Welcome to the show. Taking back America is going to be a major job, because it isn't just America we have to deal with. As of January of 2011, your United States Supreme Court led in a 5-4 decision, led by that young whippersnapper, U.S. Supreme Chief Justice John Roberts, that not only can corporations donate to elections, but foreign corporations can donate to American elections. Heretofore, that was illegal. Even unions and corporations were not allowed to do so. But unions broke the law for so many decades, and nobody held them accountable because we had a Democratic majority Congress most of those years. Now we've got, I don't know what you'd call it, a fascist United States Supreme Court, but now foreign corporations can influence our elections directly. I have a problem with that. Just a few years ago, when we wanted to put Tom Snedden, our ex-district attorney, in jail, and we needed to run Gary Dunlap, and we did, we had hundreds of thousands of people that were Michael Jackson fans from all over the world wanted to donate money. But we were prohibited from taking foreign donations for an American election. Now they flipped it, and foreign corporations can give money to influence our elections, and I have a problem with that. Our problems are becoming more global because we've lost control of America. One of the things that has caused me to bring Jane Swanson here with us, she's here, and I got to say, thank you for coming, Jane Swanson. Welcome to the show.
My pleasure to be here.
I'm so happy you're here. I really, truly am. And it's because I've had an epiphany. I grew up in Wisconsin. I got my environmental degree in Wisconsin, environmental science degree. And while I was finishing that degree, I worked at Two Creeks Nuclear Power Plant on Lake Michigan, which was in Manitowoc County. And I mean, I worked inside, not just as a guy at the gate, a gate guard or somebody. I worked taking samples of radioactivity before it started up and after it started up, and saw all the backup systems. And I was convinced nuclear was a clean, safe source of power. Clean and safe and inexpensive. If you had all these backup systems, well, the Fukushima meltdown, and I want to stress that word meltdown. Wouldn't you say that, Jane?
It is a meltdown, and there's fires happening also. You wouldn't have those elements being released unless there were fire involved.
So we've got fire taking up the radioactivity. We've got a meltdown in at least 3 of the 4, and probably the 4th one too, if it hasn't, probably soon. And we don't know how to fix it. So I've had an epiphany after 40 years of believing nuclear could be safe if you just didn't let the Russians do it, because we remember Chernobyl, and we thought, well, the Russians just don't care about personal safety and individual lives, so, I mean, you can write them off. But this case in Japan, it's got nothing to do with communist regime or any other kind of regime. To me, it proved Mother Nature can throw you a curveball that wipes out all your backup systems. And I got to thinking, we now have the ability, since Stan Myers demonstrated it in 1998, to drive our cars powered on hydrogen from fractured water. I'll say that again. We have the ability now to make gasoline and oil importing obsolete. And we've had it for 13 years. Stan Myers was assassinated, murdered with uranium poisoning in the food. He went out to a restaurant. You don't accidentally get uranium poisoning at a restaurant. It's not rat poison. It's not, you know, we keep a little uranium here to salt up the pizza. No. He was assassinated because he'd come up, and you can see it on YouTube. You can see it on my YouTube channel, which is just William Wagener, comma, Stan Myers, water car, and you'll see him driving a car with no gasoline. So we've had this technology. Now we've got people demonstrating you can fracture water using solar, right?
That's not a field I know about, so I'll take your word for it.
There's YouTube clips. This guy's completely self-contained. He's off the grid. He's off the power grid completely. He uses solar to fracture water. Then he takes the water, fractured hydrogen, burns it back, and he can power his car with it. He can heat his house with it. He can run his air conditioning. So we have the capacity and have had it for some years. Who in the federal and state administrations are blocking this technology? So I had an epiphany, and I thought, you know, this nuclear thing in Fukushima, they've got this huge glowing blob of radioactive uranium putting out radioactive cesium, radioactive iodine, now plutonium, which is very hard to detect. And nobody can get close enough to fix it. This is worse than Chernobyl and 3 Mile Island put together. Wouldn't you say, Jane?
It's a huge warning to us all that we're not in control of these nuclear power plants.
And you belong to a group called Mothers for Peace.
It's the San Luis Obispo Mothers for Peace. We're a local nonprofit organization, totally volunteer staffed, so I'm a volunteer. And yes, we have been legal interveners against our neighborhood nuclear power plant, the Diablo Canyon nuclear plant, since 1973. So for 38 years, the Mothers for Peace have been saying Nuclear power plants near active earthquake faults are an insane idea, and Fukushima has certainly made that case more strongly than we ever could. And we're really, really distressed for the victims there. But we have to take that knowledge and apply it here also. And for 38 years, we've been saying there's no such thing as a safe low level of radiation. And now the news reports we're hearing from Fukushima area are, well, yes, we have 10,000 times as much of this element as is considered normal background. However, it's not a health problem. And we know that's not true.
That's not true. Jane Swanson, I want to thank you very much for coming in short notice. Very much appreciate that. You have an event coming up, I think it's April 16th. Tell us what that's about and what people could do.
Yes, April 16th, that's this coming Saturday at high noon. We invite all of your viewers to come to Avila Beach, the pier at Avila Beach. It's a small town, so once you get to Avila Beach, you will see the crowds. And we're having a protest, and we're calling it No More Nuclear Victims. And when we say no more nuclear victims, of course, we're thinking in the present tense about the victims in Japan who are displaced from their homes. Well, the earthquake and tsunami were bad enough, but they're also being displaced by the radioactive releases, and their long-term health is severely affected. We all know that children are, and developing fetuses are most highly affected by these radioactive elements. So we're thinking of them as nuclear victims. And all of us who live downwind from Diablo Canyon actually are nuclear victims in a lesser degree than the people of Fukushima area, because normal, under control plant operations at nuclear plants do involve releases of low levels of radiation. I'm not saying what the effect of that is because I can't prove it, but I do know that there is no such thing as a safe low level of radiation. And we also know that Diablo Canyon is built, it's surrounded by more than a dozen earthquake faults. Some of them are not yet studied. And although PG&E has long told us that their plant is built so strongly that it can take anything Mother Nature can dish out, trust me, those engineers who operated the Fukushima plants were saying the same thing a little over a month ago. They can't say that now. So Mother Nature does not read the reports that nuclear facilities put out. Mother Nature does what she's going to do, and we can't always predict.
Wow. Well, there you heard it from Jane here, and she's with a group. There's Liz Appleberg and
we have a wonderful
run us through all
long-standing.
the names.
Well, we have a 7-person board of directors who are working really hard on this protest, and I didn't tell you enough about the protest. So let me back up. So we do encourage people to come. We'll have speakers. We'll have some music. And we're encouraging people to bring their signs, their homemade signs that express themselves. You know, my friend Jill Zamek, who is on the board, she's already made some signs that say things like, you know, no more nuclear victims. And Fukushima is our greatest warning. She's made a bunch of signs. We encourage people to express themselves. And no nukes and no Diablo. There's lots of things. The PG&E has also applied for a license extension for the Diablo Canyon plant. It has licenses now to operate till the year 2025. PG&E wants to add another 20 years to that and run this plant until 2045. So that is another focus of our No More Nuclear Victims protest on April 16th at high noon. That's another element of it. We're protesting against license renewal for Diablo. Diablo Canyon was designed in the 1960s.